What's up, fuckers, and welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K22 Next Gen. And in today's video, we're going to be doing the other side of the blockbuster Donovan Mitchell trade that went down just a few days ago. Now, I have done a lot of Utah Jazz rebuilds, technically post Donovan Mitchell, but none which sent him to the Cleveland Cavaliers. So that's what we got for you today. I'll quickly read you guys the trade details. I'm definitely a few days late on this video, as I'm sure a lot of you know if you watched the one yesterday with Donovan Mitchell going to the Cavs. But here's the details once again. The Cavaliers sent forward Lauri Markkanen, rookie wing Achai Agbaji, guard Colin Sexton, 3 unprotected first-round picks in 2025, 2027, and 2029, and 2 pick swaps in 2026 and 2028. For guard Donovan Mitchell. Now, that's an absolutely huge haul. Danny Ainge is somebody who I can tell you from my experience as a Celtics fan, definitely loves his draft picks when he is going into a full rebuild. I'm excited the Jazz finally did that. I think their core was not really going anywhere, and I'm sure a lot of you guys probably agree with that. And finally, real quick, before we do get in this video, of course, as always, if you guys are new around here and have not yet would like to subscribe to the channel, we are on, officially the road to 40K. And I'm super excited for another year of 2K. We only have 2 videos left in 2K22 before 2K23 does drop. So we're going to do this one today, obviously on Wednesday, and then my final video of 2K22 will be coming out tomorrow. Now, I need your guys' help for that, because I typically end every single cycle of 2K on just a fantasy draft rebuild where we shoot the shit and we talk about the next 2K. A lot of you guys are saying you want to see the Hype Beast Challenge, where I put all 3 of 2K's Hype Beasts on the same team with LaMelo, Zion, and Luka. I think that one would be fun, but let me know down below in the comment section. And of course, while you're down there, leave a like on the video. All right, that pretty much wraps up this intro, man. This was a crazy-ass trade. Let's see if we can get the Utah Jazz to be championship contenders in 3 years. So nobody's surprised this Jazz team is going to be absolutely abysmal, probably for the next 3 to 4 years at a minimum. Now, we are doing a 3-year rebuild today, so we don't really have that luxury to suck for that long. But what we do have is a lot of draft picks, and a lot of draft picks that I can hopefully use in order to acquire some really good players. So let's just go over this roster, and we are probably going to do something today that I don't do too often, and that is actually trading guys that are currently on the roster that may or may not be on the roster in real life once we do start the 2022-2023 season. Number 1 on my list, probably Mike Conley, 35 years old. Not a guy that's probably sticking around for a 3, 4, 5-year rebuild here in Utah. So we're going to see if we can find a somewhat realistic trade to maybe send him. I just don't know if I can find one off the top of my head, but I'm going to throw him in the trade finder once we're done going over the roster, and then I'll show you guys that. There's a couple other pieces that I will mention as well. Jared Butler, only 22 years old, most likely going to be our starting point guard here moving forward, at least for now, for this one season. Do I think he's probably a starting point guard on one of my championship teams? Probably not. But it's what we got right now, so it's what we're going to use. Colin Sexton, the man who signed a 4-year, $72 million contract with the Jazz once he was officially traded there. I like this deal for both sides. He's probably going to average some ridiculous stat line just the way this team is currently constructed. There's not a lot to be too appreciative of on this team. So Sexton's obviously one of these nice young pieces here. Only 23 years old. Really excited to kind of hopefully somewhat build around him today. Malik Beasley came over in the Rudy Gobert trade with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if they maybe kept him, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they tried to trade him. I think he's a very talented player, probably somebody who's going to probably come off their bench. I know I just said probably a lot. I just don't know how much he really fits the timeline. That's weird to say for a 25-year-old, but Danny Ainge rebuilds can sometimes take a long time. I can tell you from experience. Jordan Clarkson, another guy who's probably 100% gone. It makes absolutely no sense to keep him here. Probably can get at least a first-round pick for a former 6th man of the year. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 24-year-old player. I'm excited to have him. Achai Agbaji, obviously one of the main pieces in that trade with the Cavs. Came over, never played a minute. I actually saw a tweet. It was really funny. It was when the Cavs officially, when the trade officially went through and the Cavs were, saying welcome to Donovan Mitchell and thank you to Lauri Markkanen and everything like that. And it was just funny. They would, put out a tweet. It was like, thank you, Achai Agbaji. And I was like, he never really put on a uniform, but yeah, I guess. Lauri Markkanen, another piece that came over in this deal. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be a building block. Oh, shit. Hit my desk. Sorry about that. Taylor Horton Tucker, obviously the Patrick Beverley trade. Taylor Horton Tucker, the man that they wouldn't give up for, Kyle Lowry or any of these other big fish that the Lakers have been rumored to get for, a pretty long time. But he's here now. I don't think he's going to be a building block, but he is here, and he is probably coming off the bench. I'm excited to have Jared Vanderbilt. Sometimes he has the weird thing where he gets all pissy with his role. I'm hoping that doesn't happen today. Bohan Bodanovich, another guy that is probably either going to be traded or just bought out really before the start of the season. Timeline-wise, just makes absolutely no sense. Eric Pascal here, I believe, was a one-year deal with them. And then Stanley Johnson, also a piece of the Patrick Beverley trade. Udoka Azubuike, Walker Kessler, who was their first-round pick this year, are probably going to be two centers that we have for at least a season. You know, I don't think either of these guys are long-term answers, but they're definitely what we got right now, so we'll make do. Yeah, this team absolutely sucks. I would not be surprised if we were dead last in the entirety of the NBA. We are going to make a couple trades right now. If I can't find trades, what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to buy these guys out, and the way of doing that in 2K is basically just releasing them. It's really the only option I have. I'm just trying to have a realistic roster for this Cavs team, for this Jazz team going into the first year, because there's no way those three guys are probably going to be on it. And if they are, they'll definitely be traded by the deadline. So let's find some possible trades. This is maybe the somewhat realistic trade. Obviously, Mike Conley's name has been kind of floated around a little bit. With the Lakers, I'm just going to give them to them basically at this point. I'm going to try to get a first-round pick. We're also giving them Bohan Bodanovich. I think they'd actually probably prefer Jordan Clarkson if they would rather do that. Honestly, at this point, I don't really care. I'm not trying to make this realistic. Take the three of them. Give me your first-round pick swap in 2023 and give me your first in 2027, whatever the hell it is. That's fine by me. It's not a good trade. I know it's an absolute dog shit trade, but it's one that we kind of have to do right now. So yeah, we just acquired Kendrick Nunn. We acquired Russell Westbrook, who I'm just honestly going to buy out or do the 2K buyout or you release him. I'm still going to start Jared Butler, then Kendrick Nunn will come off the bench. There's a lot of depth here at this shooting guard spot, so I'm going to have to figure out what I want to do there. And then, yeah, basically every other position is kind of figured out. So let me go buy out Russell Westbrook, and then I'm going to set the rotation. I think it's pretty clear that this team is not going to be good. I made a couple adjustments. I was able to sign a couple random free agents, which allowed me to send Achai Agbaje down to the G League, where I think he's going to benefit a lot down there for a season, just because our shooting guard depth is off the chart. Now, I'm sure in real life he'll probably end up actually playing in Utah this season, but here in 2K, that's the way we're going to do it. And this is how the starting five and the rest of the rotation is going to look. Jared Butler, I'm starting him over Kendrick Nunn. I think Jared Butler is going to be here longer. I don't really foresee Kendrick Nunn on this team past this year, and I'm not trying to win games. So we're going to develop our young pieces here, and we are going to suck. Colin Sexton, probably far and away the best player on this team. Man's probably going to average some ridiculous-ass stat line. Lauri Markkanen, Jared Vanderbilt, and then I'm starting Walker Kessler, who was their first-round pick. May or may not happen, you know, when the Jags actually start playing this season. But I'm going to go based off potential and how, you know, maybe serviceable I think a guy can be down the line. Malik Beasley will be our sixth man. Again, I know he's a guy that maybe they could trade either at the deadline or even somewhat before this year starts. But we're going to go ahead and keep him for now. Kendrick Nunn following him in the rotation. Taylor Horton Tucker, Udoka Azubuike, and then Eric Pascal. So it's not a very good team. I would imagine we'll probably cap out probably around 20 wins. But yeah, probably going to be a pretty painful first year, but, you know, that's the goal. I'll see you guys at the end of year one here in Utah. So it was unfortunately not a very good first regular season for us here in Utah. Luka won the MVP award. It's a triple-double, so we do have to give it to him. That's my little golden rule if you didn't know that. If Luka he wins an MVP basically twice or three times a video. If it's not a triple-double, I don't give it to him. I override and give it to somebody else. But today, he's going to get it. Yeah, we were dead last here in the Western Conference, number 30 in the power rankings. Probably the worst team in the league. I don't even want to see our record. Holmgren Rookie of the Year. Probably won't be in real life because he's not playing. It sucks. I'm pissed about it. Simmons, Sixth Man of the Year. Isaac Depoy. Jared Butler actually wins Most Improved. I mean, somebody has to score the basketball for us. So he's about 18 points a game, 3 boards, 4 assists, 1 steal. Not a bad season for him. You know, that's not terrible. I'd like to get maybe those shooting stats up a little bit, but that's not horrible. Willie Green, Coach of the Year of the New Orleans Pelicans. They are going to be a fun team to deal with throughout this rebuild. So, moment of truth, how bad were we? 24-58. So we were the worst team in the league, but we hit 24 wins. I'm actually a little bit surprised by that. I thought we would be under 20 wins for sure, but I will take that. Numbers on the year, Colin Sexton, really solid season here for us, obviously. You know, again, I hate to discredit him, but, you know, somebody has to score the basketball. But, you know, not to discredit him, but it was a really solid season. And I'm happy to have him here, especially with that contract. Jared Butler, as you just saw, won Most Improved. Lauri Markkanen, not bad, 15 points, 5.5 boards, 1 assist, half a steal. Beasley, Nunn, THT, Walker Kessler, 8 and 8.5. Not a horrible rookie campaign. We'll see. He's definitely probably not a long-term answer, though. Rebounds led by Jared Vanderbilt, and assists was Jared Butler. So it is time to sim the one and only playoffs, hopefully, that we are not in here. You know, again, this is probably not going to be a next year win immediately. I think it's probably going to take 2 seasons, but we'll see what happens. The Hawks and Trae Young, holy hell. That's insane. It's funny to see, like, you want a Finals MVP, you can see game started is only 3 because I always forget to update, his or DeJounte's position to shooting guard. But those are insane numbers, and he definitely deserves that Finals MVP. So let's head into the offseason. We have a big moment of truth right now as we are hoping to have the #1 overall pick and land Victor Wembanyama, who would be an absolutely huge hit for us. We also have that Houston pick swap that's from the Royce O'Neal trade with the Brooklyn Nets. It's probably not going to be the better pick. I don't think it is anyways. And, of course, we fall to 5 because, why wouldn't we? So, yeah, that sucks pretty much. But, we'll see what we can do there. Will Hardy's obviously our head coach, came over from the Celtics coaching staff. He doesn't have great ratings. I'll give him one more year, and if I make this team somewhat competitive and we still suck, I'll probably move on from them. But I want Victor Wembanyama. This is probably one of my final rebuilds in 2K22, and I'm going all out. We're going to try to get him, so I'm going to trade for that #1 overall pick. The Portland Trailblazers are the current owners of that #1 draft pick. Now, we have 3 other first-round picks this year. One from the Timberwolves, one's from the Nets, and one's from the Pelicans. Now, I'll offer 24 and 29. I'd like to keep 17 if possible. I definitely also have some players here that potentially would maybe want to be traded. Unfortunately, oh shit. Yeah, I'm not really trying to give up any of these guys, so it's probably just going to have to be a collection of picks. So, honestly, I'll give you 17. I don't really want to, but I'd rather do that maybe than a valuable pick. I'll give you a Cavs first in 2026. God damn it. And I'll give you a first from the Cavs in 2027. And they agree to that. So we get Victor Wembanyama, which is obviously a huge get for us. He's going to be our center for the remainder of the video. Dude's an absolute stud, has like an 8-foot wingspan. I'm sure you've all seen some of his mixtapes or whatever that you call him these days on Twitter. I mean, this dude's just an absolute monster. And I'm super excited to have him here on our team for, the next 2 seasons. He's an 82 overall, 7'5". What an absolute monster. I love it. Vanderbilt's coming back. Beasley's coming back. It looks like they're not too happy to be here. THT actually declines that $11 million option. I can't really imagine he's probably getting more than that, but we'll see what he demands on this market here. Kendrick Nunn's a free agent, wants about $8 million a year. How much does Taylor Horton Tucker want? $14 million a season. Also 2K23 is installed. That's sweet. Oh, Taylor, what are we doing? $14 million. That's absolutely insane. I'm thinking this is probably going to be one of those rebuilds where I go ahead and probably have to make trades for a lot of the players I want, just because the way that free agency looks right now is not too good. And let's be honest, the way our roster looks is not too good. So let's make some trades. We are going to offer the New Orleans Pelicans Lauri Markkanen and Malik Beasley for Brandon Ingram. Now, my thought process on this one is Brandon Ingram is a huge upgrade at the small forward spot over Lauri Markkanen. Malik Beasley could be used, continue to be used, I guess, as the 6th man, but we have Colin Sexton starting, and then I do want to get a Chad Gaje some minutes. I just really don't think that he would be on this team at this point. So we're going to try to trade him. They don't take that trade, pretty obvious there. I'm ready to give up all these draft picks because unlike the way this is probably going to work in real life, we have to win now. So we don't really have time to sit around and continue to tank. So we kind of got to make do with what we got. So they still don't take that. I'll give you Azubuike. You want him? You can have him because I have Walker Kessler and I obviously just drafted Victor Wembanyama. They don't do that. How about a second? Come on. Give me Brandon. Oh, son of a bitch. I'm going to give up 4 first, aren't I? Yep, I am. That's a lot, but Brandon Ingram's our clear and far and away our new best player on this team. And I'm excited to have him here. It looks like Jared Vanderbilt is extremely, extremely pissed. Extremely pissed. I don't know why he's that mad. Like, he's still starting. He's still our only power forward on our roster, but I was probably going to try to get an upgrade anyways, but that kind of solidifies my decision now. We're going to try to sign Fred VanVleet to a 3-year deal. I think he'd be a guy that could definitely he could do a lot of things with this team. I think he would be a good veteran to have. He's obviously a huge upgrade at the starting point guard spot. 3-point shooter, defense, I'd be excited to have him here. So we're going to offer him that 3-year contract. I was thinking about offering Garland a contract, but it's just going to get matched by the Cavs. I mean, there's just absolutely no way. So we bring in Fred VanVleet, which is awesome. I'm honestly thinking I'm just going to let THT go. I mean, we have Brandon Ingram now starting. We obviously moved on from Markkanen, but I just don't feel as if I need him. We're going to let Eric Pascal go as well. I wouldn't mind re-signing Kendrick Nunn. I think that would be a pretty decent thing. I don't think he'd be a bad backup point guard, but Nickeil Alexander-Walker, maybe. But Fred VanVleet obviously is my #1 priority, and I'm super excited to have him here. And so, pretty much our big free agent signing. So the starting lineup's kind of coming together. I think Jared Vanderbilt's probably still somebody just because you believe in an expiring contract here. And, the whole thing where he gets all pissed off, or whatever the hell 2K wants to call it. Yeah, he doesn't want to be here. So he's definitely, I know I could re-sign him still anyways, but we'll find a trade. We just completely emptied the clip of all the picks we had left and traded for Scotty Barnes from the Toronto Raptors. So we get a second Raptors player in here along with Fred VanVleet. That is obviously a huge upgrade at the power forward spot. Our starting five is now figured out. So yeah, we definitely kind of hurt our bench in our future a little bit, but I was never going to be saving those draft picks because I think we definitely need to be good this upcoming season. So now I'm going to bring back Kendrick Nunn. I'll bring back Nickeil Alexander-Walker as well. Are we still in moratorium? No, we're not. So I'll bring back Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He definitely is a guy that could be traded. I don't think I have any sort of bird rights on Jared Butler. I will check actually though. Like, let's just look him up. Just because if he's here, I'll either sign him, bring him back, or that trade value may honestly be a little bit high. So let's see if Jared Butler's here. Jimmy Butler would be a fun one. I do not. Wait a minute. He may sign. Jared Butler? Jared Butler? Oh, come on. All right, cool. All right, cool. Welcome back to Utah. I obviously don't need 3-point guards, so I'm going to trade one of these guys, probably along with Nickeil Alexander-Walker, because we do not have backups at the 3, the 4, or the 5. So yeah, I'm thinking we're probably going to not have Brandon Ingram have a backup, or maybe I could just go Nickeil Alexander-Walker, but I definitely do need to find some backup center spot. I know I just traded my potential backup center with Walker Kessler, but it had to be done. Scotty Barnes is a huge upgrade, and still very confused why he's a guy that I can actually trade for. So I'd probably, like, I know Kendrick Nunn probably is the better player right now, but Jared Butler has played so damn well for me last year. And I obviously know with Fred VanVleet ahead of him, he's not going to put up those numbers again. Let's just see some of the trade offers we get for both. Like, if I trade Kendrick Nunn, I'm obviously looking for a power forward or center. Like, DeMarcus Cousins is not what I'm looking for. Marcus Smart's just not really position of need. It would be fun to have a former Depoy, though. Like, Cody Zeller, is that really what I'm looking for right now? I mean, 11-7 last year in Dallas is actually not that bad. Birch is there. Moses Brown. Draymond Green. No, I don't want Draymond Green. All right, you know what? I'm going to go ahead. It's not the best trade in the world, but we're going to take Cody Zeller. He's a serviceable backup big man, and again, he's backing up a guy who's a generational prospect, so it's not that important. And now I do want to play a Chai Gaje, so I'm going to trade Nickeil Alexander-Walker probably for a backup power forward. And then we're basically set at this point. I mean, we've made a lot of moves this offseason. You know, maybe they'll not all work out, but I'm pretty comfortable with the moves we have made. And, yeah, I'm pretty confident in this team moving forward. I don't think we're necessarily going to be a top seed in the West, but I think we should be pretty good. What I'm actually going to do here is probably a little bit of a, not the best move, but I'm actually going to trade for Joe Harris. If you move Joe Harris to the power forward spot, his overall actually does not change. And, yeah, we're all set. I'll see you guys at the start of year 2 here in Utah. This team obviously looks completely different from the way it was last season. This team is probably going to be in the playoffs. Are we a contender? Probably not yet, but I think we can definitely make a stride to hopefully get Utah back in the playoffs. And we'll see what happens from there. This is how it's going to look. It's Fred VanVleet and Colin Sexton in our backcourt. These are both guys that I don't get a ton, so I'm kind of excited as we wind down 2K22. Kind of get some players I don't get too often. Brandon Ingram is somebody I do get a decent amount, but he's obviously an absolute stud, and I'm excited to have him here. Scotty Barnes, who should not be that easy to trade for, is now here in Utah, going to be our starting power forward. Victor Wembanyama, our generational center, is going to hopefully be a monster for us. The bench is okay. Chad Gaje went from the G League to now our 6th man, playing 22 minutes a night. I'm hoping for big things out of him. I got high hopes. Cody Zeller going to be the backup center here, followed by Jared Butler and then Joe Harris. It's a very interesting bench. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm hoping we can be back in the playoffs, and I'll catch you guys at the end of year 2. To say I'm surprised would be an understatement. This team is not good enough to be a 1 seed. I'll just put that out there into the universe, and somehow we were. Zion Williamson MVP. I will say, for how much of a hype beast I call Zion and how much 2K kind of dick rides him, he doesn't win a ton of MVPs. It's typically Luka. You see LaMelo winning a lot. It'd actually be really funny if Luka won it year 1 and Zion won it year 2, and then LaMelo won it in the 3rd and final year. It'd be kind of a funny way, kind of round out 2K22. But yeah, congrats, Zion. I do not know how this team was a 1 seed. Victor Wembanyama is obviously a monster. Does win Rookie of the Year. 17.5 points, 10 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal. Almost 2 blocks a game. Monster. Ben Simmons, 6-man. Giannis, Depoy, James Bouknight, most improved. I said this when he was drafted by the Hornets. I'm a big James Bouknight fan. I think the potential's still there. Willie Green, Coach of the Year. How does Will Hardy not win Coach of the Year? I mean, we were legitimately the worst team in the league last year, and now we have the 1 seed in the West. You're not going to give it to Will Hardy? We go 60-22? Oh, come on, 2K. Oh, give it to Will Hardy. I mean, we have the best record in the league. We quite literally just went from worst to first. and they're not even going to give me it? That's BS. Sexton showing that he is still a really solid player, 23.5 points, followed by Brandon Ingram, Victor Wembanyama. Maybe not the best numbers for Fred VanVleet, but, we do have a lot of talent around him. Scotty Barnes, Jared Butler, Chai Gaje, Cody Zeller, and Joe Harris round out this rotation. Rebounds was led by Victor Wembanyama, and assists was Fred VanVleet. So, yeah, round one, oh great. Golden State, Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, Wiggins. I mean, come on. This is a play-in team. They basically have the same core. I mean, we're up 2-1. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised just knowing how 2K works if we actually won, but I would say they're definitely better. Obviously, they have a lot more experience. Minnesota, we're taking on our old friend Rudy Gobert. This backcourt always somehow sucks. D'Lo always somehow ends up not on this team, but obviously this big three right here is insanely talented. That front court's probably going to give a lot of problems to our front court. So, it's, I'd say we're still better, though. We are up 3-1 here in the Western Conference semifinals, and we're going to a Game 7. And we lose? We blow a 3-1 lead? Yeah, my dick! Are you shitting me? Oh, come on. Who was that backcourt we just lost? We lost to a backcourt of Isaiah Wong, whoever the fuck that is, and Wendell Moore? Oh, 2K, we're not. This is not serious, right? Oh, what an unserious world we live in right now. And the Pelicans go on to win the finals, and oh my god. Honestly, we probably wouldn't have gotten through Zion and the Pelicans anyways, but come on, 2K. All right, it's time to make some adjustments. It's time to make some adjustments, because although I don't think that team was good enough to be a 1 seed, when you're up 3-1 in a series, you have no excuse to ever blow a series lead. Unless, your best player has, a seriously bad injury. You have no excuse to lose that series. And, yeah, we were up 3-1, and I don't play with injuries on. I don't know why I'm hitting the draft lottery as if we have any draft picks, because we obviously don't. I traded legitimately all of them. Thunder have, they have, what is that, 3 picks in the top 10. God, Sam Presti, I need, a masterclass from you. Will Hardy, do I want to keep him? You know what? I don't think I'm going to. I don't. I think he definitely has potential to be a decent head coach. But, yeah, you know what? When we're in a ride-or-die situation here in our final season, I need my boy Mike Stauffer here, who obviously has legitimately perfect ratings because he's a developer in 2K. So, we do not have any draft picks. We now have access to some other picks to maybe trade, but we don't actually have any picks in this year's draft. Mioni does not need a qualifying offer. Was he on the Jazz? Because obviously he's just one of those random players that 2K signs to fill out my roster. Was he ever on the Jazz? I think he was. I believe so. Free agents-wise, Joe Harris is here. I think we can maybe get somebody a little bit better. Wow, do we have money? Holy shit, we actually have a little bit of money to play with. That definitely helps. That definitely is going to help upgrade our team a little bit. Yeah, we lost our backup center and our backup power forward, though. So I'm obviously thinking big man right now. Wow, Gordon Hayward here. Jay Sean Tate. Jonas Valanciunas. I don't think I maybe need somebody as good as him. I think Jay Sean Tate would be fun. I think I'd actually rather have Jay Sean Tate. We're going to bring in Jay Sean Tate. He's going to be here now. We definitely are still, in the market to go ahead, get a new backup center. Oh, just kick me when I'm down, why don't you? Honestly, I'll sign Valanciunas, and I'll probably end up trading Valanciunas. That's fine with me. I actually might be able to package Valanciunas for 2 players. I think I honestly might be able to. Because when I look at this roster, the only player I'd maybe trade in the starting 5 is Fred VanVleet, just because he had a somewhat disappointing season. I mean, it's obviously really only disappointing in the points per game department. It was still really good and really probably effective from 3 and from just mid-range. But, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to keep Fred VanVleet. I'm going to keep him. I'm now going to move on from Jonas Valanciunas, who I signed legitimately just to trade. Kind of scummy, I know, but I need a different center and I need a different power forward. That's obviously me asking a lot, and I don't. Oh, DeAndre Hunter would be fun. I keep hitting my desk. I'm sorry. It's going to keep happening. Mo Bamba, it feels like a lateral move. Deron Sharp and Bruce Brown. Now, this is something I would consider. I think that's actually a really strong trade. Or I could do this, Andre Drummond, who has a monster year last year, and Chris Murray, who was just drafted. There's a decent amount of trade offers here, and I'm actually kind of, you know what? This is the one we're going to take. We're going to take Gafford and Isaiah Todd. He has actually barely really even played. Actually, you know what? No. We're going to, sorry, I know I'm all over the place. We're going to take this one from the Nets. We're going to take Deron Sharp, who's been decent. Bruce Brown, solid piece. Definitely probably a guy may or may not trade. At this point, it doesn't really matter who the backup, power forward or small forward is. I mean, the NBA is basically positionless. So that's the way we're going to do it. I'll see you guys at the start of the third and final year. Couple things. One, I just noticed how fucking bright this is behind me, and it wasn't like that when I hit record. I think something happened. It's probably getting brighter. It is in the morning when I'm recording this. But yeah, I'll fix that for the next video. I'll play with some camera settings. But we are here, more importantly, for year 3. Fred VanVleet has unfortunately regressed down to 82. I think that's just 2K BS. I think he's still going to be very serviceable, very solid. So it's him, Colin Sexton, Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, and Victor Wembanyama in our starting 5. Bench unit, Chib Gage, Duran Sharp, Bruce Brown, and Jared Butler. This is the squad. It's obviously probably not the best team I've ever built, but it's a fun, little bit of a different approach. Try to get some guys that maybe don't get a ton. And I'm happy with the end result. Let's try to go win a championship. Year 3 is over. Luka wins his second MVP of this video. It would have been fun if LaMelo could have won it to kind of round out the big 3, but more importantly, we're a 1 seed here in the West, and that's definitely what I care about first and foremost, and number 1 in the power rankings. Hopefully, we don't blow it in the playoffs again, especially a 3-1 lead. Julian Phillips, Rookie of the Year, was actually drafted by the Cavs with the, a second-round pick in 2023, so he was drafted actually 2 drafts ago. Interesting. Simmons, 3rd year in a row, 6th Man of the Year. Jaren Jackson Jr., Depoy, Jonathan Kuminga. Holy fuck. Sorry. Holy hell. Damn. Wow. Insane. 68 and 14 for this team. Oh my God. Wow, that's insane. Just wow. Second winning team. Their second most wins in the West was 49. It was by the Rockets. I mean, we are just the clear-cut favorites, in my opinion, to go out and win a title this year. I mean, this team is just absolutely insane, and I'm very happy with the end product. I really am. All right, let's go see what happens here. Who we got in round 1? Lakers. Interesting. What in the world? So I'm guessing LeBron probably retired. I don't really see him ever sign anywhere else. We're better than this team. We are. Golden State, who we actually beat last year. Oh my, I can't get over this season. Oh my God, this game loves. I might have to add Kuminga into that, that big trio I have of hype beasts in 2K. We are up 3-0 though. We're up 3-1. Oh boy, the Pelicans sit and await us. And yeah, Magic and Hornets in the Eastern Conference Finals. Oh, come on. I mean, that team won, what, 49 games or something like that? Are you shitting me? And how are we beating them? This makes no sense. Now we have the 7 seed Orlando Magic here. I mean, what in the... Who constructed this bench? I don't... I have no idea what is going on right now. This is a weird way to kind of wrap up normal rebuilds in 2K22. Victor Wembanyama, Finals MVP. I was happy we can kind of get a championship to kind of cap things off. And this team was not absolutely insane, but was pretty fun, and I had some fun with this rebuild. So, again, I'm sorry about this bright-ass white. It looks like you're entering the fucking gates of heaven right here. I'll fit. My walls are white, so that's kind of a problem. My window's obviously right there. So I'll fix it. I know it's probably annoying as shit. For the next video, as always, if you guys did enjoy, you can leave a like down below. It'd be greatly appreciated as we are on the road to 40K, and 2K23 does start, I guess, technically tomorrow at midnight, but I haven't decided if I'm going to post at like 2 a.m. or just wait till Friday morning, which I'll probably end up doing, but maybe we'll have a little bit of a live stream. We'll see. Let me know any other videos you guys want to see. Let me know who you wanted me to do for the first team of 2K23. I'm super excited for it and cannot wait. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.